Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to another WWE Mattel action figure video. In today's video, we are going to have a look at packaging. That's right, we're going to have a look at boxes. Is there anything more exciting than boxes? I mean, yes, literally everything else, but other than that, we're going to have a look in this video at those times, those occasions when Mattel have given us a little bit more. They've gone the extra mile. They've surprised us with some exceptional packaging. I've got 10 examples to show you, and let's get straight to it. Let's start, shall we, with this. Here you can see the Bootios pack. The Bootios pack. This was so good. This is a standalone release, so this wasn't part of a series or anything. They just literally released this on its own. It's in a Bootios cereal pack, but it does kind of flip open at the front. And of course, this is based on their WrestleMania entrance. I think it was WrestleMania 32, when they actually came out from a massive Bootios box. So they are wearing their WrestleMania attire, and then you get like the big box that they walked out of. It's so cool, so different. Next up, we've got GameStop exclusive retrofest figures. I believe GameStop actually requested that Mattel make something that would fit in with their demographic. Of course, they sell games, and so they wanted the figures to kind of match that. So Mattel actually made arcade cabinet packaging. They made it look like an old school wrestling game kind of cabinet thing. It's even got the information on the back. Looks like a character select screen. They've made a few. You can get like the Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, I believe is just hitting stores now. So very, very cool. That is right up there with some of my favourite packaging. Next up, we've got Milk-O-Mania, the epic moments. This, of course, is based on that moment, that Raw moment when Kurt Angle came down. I think it was like 2001, and started spraying milk all over the Alliance in the ring. Drenched Stephanie, drenched Stone Cold. It was such a big moment, and they've captured it in this epic moment set. So what you get is you get those three figures, and you get a hose that's spraying milk. It doesn't really spray milk, it just looks like it's spraying milk. But I remember we saw those figures, but we didn't know how were they going to get the van. Where was the van coming from? Like, how was that going to work? It turned out the box they came in was the van. How awesome is that? That's why the box looks that way, because it's like part of the display. It's absolutely awesome. That has got to be the best packaging for an epic moment set. I really like the Shield epic moment set as well. I just think that's classy. Looks really cool, all black with the shield on the front. I think that's absolutely awesome. Next up, we've got Isaac Yankem DDS. Isaac Yankem DDS. This is really cool because, again, it looks pretty normal from the front, but when you turn it round, it's got dental records, which is awesome. I love the detail. Like, they didn't need to put that on. Like, they didn't need to. It's just hidden away at the back, but they've done it because it's awesome. Of course, Isaac Yankem was an evil dentist, so it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think it really does add to the figure as well. Next up, Chris Jericho. The list, I think this was a GameStop exclusive. And again, very similar to what we just said with Isaac Yankem. Looks normal at the front, but then when you flip it round, it's got the list of Jericho printed on it. So we were seeing for weeks and months him going around putting different people on the list. If they upset him, then he would punish them by adding them to the list. And so you've got the list printed out on the back. And at the bottom, they've even added WWE Action Figure Collector, brackets, you. So you are on the list of Jericho. Next up, we've got Seth Cashes In / Virgil. These are both Toys R Us exclusives. They weren't part of any series. They were out on their own. And they actually made them gold. They made them gold. The boxes are gold. They did it for Virgil because, of course, he was the bodyguard of the $1 Million Man. So he was always around gold and around money. So that's why they did it for him. For Seth, this figure was based on when he cashed in at WrestleMania and he became the WWE champion. Basically, when he won the gold. So they made his box gold as well. People loved the packaging for that Seth. People loved that Seth. That was like one of the most popular figures a few years ago. People were raving about it. I think True FX has probably now meant we've had better Seths since then. But still, a great set and really cool packaging. Next up, we've got Daniel Bryan Basic 66. Thank you, Daniel. This was released around the time Daniel Bryan was forced to retire. We have spoke about this figure before. I think it's really cool. They've put a t-shirt on him that he never actually wore. But it was a t-shirt that people could buy as a way of saying thank you to Daniel. It says thank you, Daniel, on the front. It's got all the championships, his achievements listed on the back. They've put that onto the figure. And then on the back of the box, rather than talking about the other figures that are in that series, they've kind of got a nice image of Daniel, and you can see the whole thank you, Daniel vibe. So classy. It's hidden away on the back. It's one of those figures that you don't want to open because it's just a really nice set. So yeah, very, very cool. And not everyone knows about that as well, because I didn't really see many people talking about it. It was just a little secret thing they did. So very, very cool. Next up, we've got the Undertaker 5-pack. Talking about thank you, Daniel. This was thank you, Taker. And this was a way to say thank you to the Undertaker. I think this came out around when he retired. So when he like put his hat in the ring and his coat in the ring. I'm sure this was out around that time, and I think that's why this pack exists. So it's a 5-pack. It's got figures from all the different Undertaker eras. There are obviously a few figures that would have really benefited going into this pack. It doesn't quite capture every single era, like American Badass, for example. But it's still very, very cool. 1990, 1994, 1998, 2014, and 2016. Those are the eras that are represented here. And you can see on the back, it's got pictures of him from those eras in caskets. It's just classy. The whole box and everything is just really cool. As a set, if you've got this in your collection, people are gonna ask questions about it. It's gonna really stand out. I've never actually seen one of these in person. I don't think they made it over here in the UK. Yeah, if you've got one, you've got something a little bit special. Next up, Magnum TA. Magnum TA was meant to come out like 2010, 2011. It never got released. It was part of a cancelled Legends series, and it looked like we might never get that figure. But then they, in 2016, released a Lost Legends series. So they basically re-released a lot of classic Legends, but Magnum TA finally got released as well. You can see an image here of the series, and you can see that Magnum TA is a little different. And the reason that that one is a little bit different is because it was meant to come out in 2010, 2011 in the Legends line. So those colours, that kind of gold colour, that was the Legends colour. And just really, really cool little callback. If you're into collecting figures and you know the history of that figure, then you'll know why the packaging is a little bit different. And that brings us to the final one, and I think I saved the best till last. Shockmaster San Diego Comic-Con Shockmaster. The Shockmaster only made one appearance in this form, and that was his debut in WCW. He was meant to burst through a wall, kind of stand there imposing and looking scary. Instead, what happened was he burst through the top bit of the wall and fell over. He completely fell over. His helmet fell off. It's one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history. So, of course, they made a figure, but they put it in upside down on purpose. They even cut a little bit out of the back, so it looks like he's fallen through the packaging. They've made it look like he's fallen over. I was such a big fan of this figure. I got one. Not only did I get one, I was fortunate enough to get a signed one. Shockmaster was actually there at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was able to get one signed. You can see there what it looks like in person. There's an image of the Shockmaster, and there he is, having fallen through upside down. His helmet just down there in the corner. Such a great figure. This still is the most expensive figure in my collection. I can't remember how much I paid. You'll have to check out the Shockmaster review video that I did, because the exact amount is in there, but it's easily around $150 or something like that. But that was mainly because it was signed, and I had to get this. It was limited edition, and it is awesome as well. So yeah, that is definitely my number one. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.